some believe the United States isn't just a superpower. It's the mystery Babylon warned about in Revelation. But is that just a conspiracy or a prophecy unfolding? The Bible describes Babylon as a powerful, rich city ruling over the kings of the earth, a nation full of immorality, witchcraft, and blasphemy, a place that sits on many waters, symbolizing influence over many nations. Now consider America. It exports culture, entertainment, and military across the globe. It leads in wealth, power, and media, but also in moral decay. It's home to churches, yet full of spiritual confusion. Come out of her, my people, so you will not share in her sins.
I believe America is Babylon described in Revelation. In one of my last videos, I talked about how the principalities are essentially preparing for a world war after that military parade in China. And I want to connect that with something even bigger: the Bible's picture of Babylon in the last days. Revelation 17:1-2 says, Babylon sits on many waters and has corrupted the nations. Verse 18 calls her the great city that rules over the kings of the earth. That sounds like a global superpower, not a small city-state. Revelation 18:3 says, the merchants of the earth grew rich from her luxury. Verses 11-13 says, endless imports, gold, silver, fine clothing, spices, even human trafficking. That's massive global trade. Then verse 10 says, in 1 hour her judgment comes, sudden destruction of unmatched wealth. Jeremiah 50:23 calls Babylon the hammer of the whole earth. That matches America's role as the world's military enforcer. Jeremiah 51:7 says, she made the nations drunk with her influence. Exactly what American culture and politics and entertainment have done. Verse 13 describes her as rich in treasures and living by many waters, again pointing to a wealthy, water-boarded nation. Verse 53 says, even if Babylon ascends to the heavens, God will bring her down. America claims to have gone to the moon first, even though, that's a whole nother story. But America still dominates the whole space program. Isaiah 47:7-8 describes Babylon saying, I am, and there is none besides me. I will never be a widow or suffer loss. That's pride. That's invulnerability. That's America's mind. And Habakkuk 1:7 says, this nation is feared and dreaded, a law to themselves. That's the picture of a superpower that makes the rules for the rest of the world. Now, some people say Babylon has to be Rome because Revelation 17:9 says the woman sits on 7 hills. And yes, Rome was historically called the city on 7 hills. But here's the thing. In prophecy, mountains and hills often represent kingdoms or seats of power. So the 7 hills could symbolize a coalition of world powers or the 7 continents, pointing to a global reach rather than a single city. And if you look at the context, Revelation isn't describing a small religious city. It's describing the economic superpower of the world, one that merchants cry over when it falls, one that holds military dominance, one that spreads its corruption across the nations. Rome today does not fit that. The Vatican has influence, but it's not the hammer of the earth or the center of global trade. Others say it's Iraq, pointing to ancient Babylon. But Babylon there is ruins, and nothing happening in Iraq today matches Revelation's picture of global influence and sudden collapse. When you line up Revelation, Jeremiah, Isaiah, and Habakkuk, the wealth, the trade, the military, the cultural corruption, the pride, the sudden destruction, America matches all of it. So this is why I believe the U.S. is the Babylon Revelation warns us about.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, Rakwak, Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the mighty Akim, Wagwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as a speckled bird that may look like the other. Slock, I was just thinking about something funny. But, shalom to the speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but actually Yahshua. This is Brother Kawakab coming at you with no listen. And well, I'm not gonna lie, I think this is funny because I saw this scene, and the thing is basically the girl in the thing was basically saying that she's gonna kill herself or whatever, or unalive herself, Slakia. And then basically he was saying, hey, don't do it, X, Y, and Z. And then he said, okay, you know what? Do it. Just kill yourself. I mean, fuck. Unalive yourself, basically. All right. Hopefully the video doesn't get taken down. But basically, that's what he was saying, and I think it's a funny thing where people start off saying, "Oh, I'm not gonna do it," or I'm going to do it," and then when actually told to do it, that's when they don't want to do it anymore, because it is in this society it is just a desperate cry for attention rather than actually. But anyway, that's not even a part of the lesson. I just thought that this was a funny thing. But anyway, continuing on with the actual lesson, with here you have these people,
her luxury.
You have this I think it's funny where people are basically acknowledging and realizing that okay, well, this is Babylon. This is what this stuff is what the scriptures say, X, Y, and Z. But the thing is that we've been knowing this. We've been knowing this for a long time, and they're only getting it now. They're only getting this stuff now. The Babylonians are only getting this now, where no one actually knew this until the prophets was the one that did this so many years ago. Okay, I've been saying that. Other brothers have been saying that and all that stuff. All right. So as a result of that, I just thought that this was something to kind of make a lesson on, because in addition to that, we also have this where this guy is over here. I'll let a little bit of it play because it is kind of
that Jesus Christ
here.
Did you know that Jesus Christ had descendants that may still be living and walking this earth right now? The Bible don't want you to notice Yeshua had kids with his wife and companion, Mary Magdalene.
Hey.
So yeah, that's just the first video that he plays, but there is more, and basically what happens in it is that you have these people that are always trying to say all these outrageous things and adding a whole bunch of stuff when the scriptures never says anything about that, or never suggest that in any way. So as a result of that, this is where you have this type of stuff where it's like, why are you just adding all this shit? As a matter of fact, specifically for the Mary Magdalene thing, that was from the movie The Da Vinci Code, where it was a movie. So obviously they're gonna add in random stuff that's not the thing, because they're trying to push out whatever. They're trying to tell a story specifically. All right. And as a result of that, that's where it's like, this is the stuff that's going on. Now, Matthew 22 verse 29, Yahawashi answered and said to them, ye do err, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of Yahweh. And the thing is, like, you can't just be taking the sources of literally anything. All right, you have to actually have scripture, have the proof to back it up. And all this dude's proof is, all this dude's proof was a movie. He literally said, do you remember that in the Da Vinci Code, in the full movie? He said, do you remember that movie, The Da Vinci Code? And that's where he's getting this thing, and that's where he's making this random ass doctrine of saying all this stuff. All right. So as a result of that, something to make note of, and it also something that make note where also in this, where people are saying all these different stuff about they're making their assumptions and stealing the doctrine, but taking it and changing it up a bit. Hey, let me copy your homework, and then making it just slightly different, rather than actually doing it in the full thing, like from scratch or whatever. All right. So as a result of that, that's where you got this, and they don't know the scriptures. They don't read the scriptures. They don't read what the Bible actually says. All right. So, but instead they'll go watch movies. All right. And look at other people's interpretation, if not interpretation, just their own retelling. Because that's the thing about the book of Clarence. There might have been, like, I think not Clarence. What's his name? Thomas. I don't know if he had a brother named Clarence, but definitely I do know of Thomas. And they took elements and put it in there, but they never. But it was never fully acknowledged in the scriptures. The scriptures don't go after that, but they're adding on to these own stuff to make their own little stuff that's outside of it, so that people can be invested and whatnot. All right. Now Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 33, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. And this is where we're getting with this, where people are gonna know. Yeah, hey, this is so now an Edomite woman is saying this stuff, but the prophets have been saying this for the longest time. So, okay, maybe these guys aren't actually crazy. Maybe these guys are actually know something. All right. So, hence why stuff like this. All right. The sense why stuff like this is another big thing to take note of and to understand, where all the things that's going on. All right, we're watching, we're taking note of, we're trying to be aware of. All right, it's going on basically. Like we see it. Now, next, Matthew chapter 1, verse 21, and she shall bring forth the son, and thou shalt call his name Yahawashi, and shall save his people from their sins. And this is where we have this. Hold on, it says the Bible isn't about race. I forgot where. Oh yeah, it's now remember Slakia. Bear with me one moment. I want to get this. I'll let this video play.
They're gonna be
just
destroyed.
A little bit.
They're magically. They didn't like that at all.
It's time we talk about this, bro. A lot of y'all, bro, y'all so caught up in race that y'all are pushing deception.
Caught up in.
So yeah, basically he's saying that people are caught up in race when the scriptures literally say that it's about race. Over here in Matthew chapter 1, verse 21, and she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahawashi, and he shall save his people. Who are his people? The Israelites. And this is what let me actually continue on, because I'll put the video in the description. But John 4:22, ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. It does not get any clearer than that. All right. The scriptures say that salvation is for the Israelites. It's for the Israelites. So how are you going to say that we're caught up on something that the scriptures quite literally proclaim? All right. But yet, of course, it doesn't matter about what's the truth. It matters about what they were taught. All right. In that misinformation, disinformation thing, both of it, not just one. But 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 11, and for this cause Yahweh shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Okay, so that's the thing where the Lord sent these people strong delusion that made them end up believing the stuff that they're believing in. Not this one, this. All right, where they think, this is a cult, this is this, that is whatever, or they're not right, they're not this, they're not whatever, rather than actually acknowledging that we're literally reading from the scriptures directly. All right, now Matthew. Oh no, hold on. So yeah, no, that's basically it. Yeah. So, oh no, actually, let me get this, and then I'll add it off here. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 14. That we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. And that's the thing where people are trying to get people to follow after their doctrine in order to deceive the masses, as well as, monetize these people, monetize these followers. All right, and that's basically the thing. That's how people, get their money and make it through all their stuff. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, WAHAWAH, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, abad, ball, and shalom.